The third love language is acts of service. Acts of service are concrete actions you do to show love. It's the things you do for the other person out of care and concern. These acts could include household chores like cooking a meal, setting the table, making the bed, washing the dishes, etc. Or things done outside the household like paying the bills, getting the grocery, etc. Basically, doing anything to help and support the other person, which makes them feel loved and cared for. These acts require thought, planning, effort, and energy. Since different people might have different dialects of the language acts of service, it's essential to remember that the acts that are important to you, for you to feel loved, might be different from the acts that you do for the other person. Let's say you cook a meal for your partner whose love language is acts of service, but your partner would have loved it if you had done the laundry instead. Therefore, it's essential for us to have a sense of awareness of what acts we'd love the other to do for us. If acts of service is our love language, on the other hand, know what acts make the other person feel loved if acts of service is their love language. Since the love language acts of service has a lot to do with chores around the house or other actions, there are two important aspects that need to be examined. One is, are these acts done out of love? In long-term relationships, there is a possibility that the acts you do for another person are now become part of mere duty, or you're doing it out of compulsion, force, fear, or guilt. These acts then don't count as a love language because the emotion involved is not love. Irrespective of which, if you continue to do these acts for the other person, you are allowing the other to develop dependency and become ungrateful for what you are doing for them. Another aspect needed to be examined is breaking stereotypes. Due to sociological changes, there is no longer a common stereotype of gender-based roles. There are chances that your perception about certain roles are different from your partner's. Therefore, having a willingness to examine and change them is necessary. Again, not out of force, but to meet the other's emotional needs of love. Learning your partner's love language might not be simple, but it can bring about a huge difference in your relationship. So why wouldn't you give it a try? The fourth love language is physical touch. Physical touch is another way of communicating emotional love. Research states that babies who are held, hugged, and kissed develop a healthier emotional life than those who are left for long without physical contact. For some individuals, physical touch is their primary love language. Physical touch can make or break a relationship depending on whether hate or love is communicated through that touch. A slap in the face is detrimental to any child, but it is devastating to the child whose primary love language is physical touch. A hug, on the other hand, communicates love to any child, but it shouts loud to a child whose love language is physical touch. Physical touch is also a powerful vehicle of communicating marital love, and it may take many forms. Sexual intercourse is definitely one dialect of this love language. However, since touch receptors are located throughout the body, it's for you to figure out what kind of touch is comfortable and loving from your partner whose love language is physical touch. The dialects of this love language would include different kinds of touch, which include hugging, kissing, holding hands, running your hands through the hair, keeping the hand on the shoulder, etc.